Hello, this is a demo of Dice and Roll. This is version 1.2. Just starting up this program for the first time, you probably see these four icons. These are dice sets, basically just a collection of one dice or multiple dice, expressions, whatever you want. So for first time users, I'm just adding in a couple default ones to get you going. If you click on these, you're basically rerunning your dice. You have a nice little counter there. You can rerun individual dice by just selecting on the buttons down here. It's kind of handy, and then you got a nice little history. You can track what's rolled. In the menu here, you notice in 1.2 is the change. The clear history is here now, so no more weird selecting on the history. Another thing that's been added in is gesture support. So if I gesture over, I can switch between my tabs. It's a little handier when you're going back and forth between attributes. So another thing, kind of the larger change in this version is the change in the dice add dialog. Set a name just like before and set your icon, a little bug that was fixed in there. But the big difference is this mode, a red mode list here. Basically what it does, it allows you to select between the different types of inputs that you want. Gives you a little more power, but also kind of simplifies it a little bit. So if I just wanted 2D3, I could just, I'm in this, as long as I can see this, I just hit add to expression and see 2D3 is added in here. And this expression list is ultimately what you're trying to create. So these are just tools in order to get this to be what you want. So the next mode here is this attribute denumber. So you can just select an attribute that you've set up, essentially a variable, and then you can choose this number of dice to whatever you want. So what that would do is whatever the value level is when you run this dice set, that's how many dice you would have. So if level was 5 when you ran it, it'd be 5 dice and there'd be 5-sided, or if it was 6, it'd be 6 dice and it'd be 5-sided. And so you can change your attributes as you go throughout the game, and you can just use that variable. So you don't have to go through here and set your dice sets and change your expressions all the time. Next one down here, this is just attributes. So if you just want to add a specific attribute to your expression, you can just do that. And finally, a constant, basic stuff. So I can just go ahead and I can just go add dice set here, and I've added it. And I can run that, and I can see the result of that output. Run individual dice just like before. If I long click on it, I'll go back in there and I can edit it. This utility mode over here is kind of neat. So expression, this little expression button, I can put little parentheses around it. It's kind of helpful. The big thing though is this operator things here. You'll notice that this button, this kind of grayed out button, will change what operator you see. So if I wanted to subtract a constant, I just set myself to kind of subtract mode here and go to constant, and then I can just subtract off that value. And the same for all these, add, subtract, multiply, divide. I can do all these things. And the operators apply to all of these expressions. So if I wanted to subtract off 2D5, I could do that. I'd probably want to wrap that in parentheses first. So that's kind of the gist of that. It gives you a lot of power. So if you just want to go back to add, you just add that back in and you're set. That's the kind of the keys behind this. Final thing is, you go to menu, you can clear that expression. Might be handy rather than trying to delete it all off, but I can just save that, run it, get the result. So that's kind of the basics of what's been added for version 1.2. Just to kind of give a quick demo of what you get with the Pro version. So I only have a couple dice set here. You actually are limited in the light version of how many dice set you can add in. Also, the other thing is switching these profiles is very handy. I could take what I've had here and I can copy that profile, or I could just switch to a profile that I've already set up, ready to go. So I could run a couple dice here, get my result, switch to another character pretty handily here, and I'm ready to go and just keep going. And the history does track for each individual character or profile that you set up. Last final thing here is these attributes. So these are what I'm using in my dice set, and I can add and subtract different dice or attributes pretty simply. Another thing that's kind of powerful is that you can set up kind of a complex attribute. So example I like to do is I do a level, and then I'll actually reference my other level here. So and then what I like to do is I'll set like a max on that. So it's actually referencing my level attribute, and I'm creating another one. So let's see, and it's called a complex attribute. It'll be grayed out because you can't plus and minus that. So the value of CC level, if I ran that now, would actually be C, or be 2. I'm sorry, because I have a max on that. And that's kind of handy if you have a spell that you want to have set max or mins on, but you want to, it uses the level, but you also, you know, can only go up to 15 or something like that. And so you can create like a magic missile level and a cone of cold level or whatever you want to do. So kind of handy for that. Attributes can also have expressions. They can do basically anything that you can put in that dice set you can do in the attribute, except for you can't use that D notation. You can't reference other dice. So that's the one thing that you can't do with an attribute. But generally the idea is that you track the attributes of your character and you use those attributes within your dice set to track those, so that when you're going throughout the game, you're basically just up and down in your different attributes, and you can just keep a defined list of rolls for each spell or whatever. So it's trying to make it effortless so you can use this program and try to make your game easier, so you're focused more on the story and less on setting up complicated expressions or dinking around with your phone. So that's a kind of a basic overview of this program. Thanks for checking it out, and I appreciate, you know, if you're interested in this, definitely upgrade to the Pro version. Thanks a lot. Bye.